He might not have known we were first on the ballot, on the.
Right, but we don't want to hold the
No,
meeting
of course
up,
not.
so
I think you should go ahead and proceed. Go ahead and proceed, and I will text him.
we can definitely get started. So I do have the plans. Would you like me to share the screen and then start production and show the changes that we made?
Yes, please.
All right. Okay.
And yeah, if everyone can just mute unless they're going to speak, that way there's no background noise.
So I'd say let's, you know what, let's start with the elevations because I do know, so just to give us a short introduction into what it is we're doing. This is the Ethical Society located in Ossining on 108 Pinesbridge Road. We are adding a foyer in the back, 9 by 9 feet, to give this building an ADA compliant entrance because it's not possible to do it anywhere else. We had been looking for quite a while. And we also didn't want to interfere with the beautiful entrance here in the front and also the front view, which I can show here for a second. So let me just show that's the front elevation. So to go back to the floor plan, so we're adding it's called a lift. It's a wheelchair lift because we tried to use a ramp, but that was really ugly and we would have needed a very long ramp. And it also requires a lot of maintenance. So we decided to go with a lift. And so here you see the 9 by 9 foyer. And from the foyer, you go into a small hall. And from this hall here, you have access to a new proposed ADA bathroom. We are also opening the entrance to the kitchen. And from the kitchen, you can then even get into the, you know, the back area, but that's not really necessary because we also opened an entrance into the parlor. So this way making the entire first floor ADA compliant or accessible. So now let me show you the elevations because I know you had concerns with the symmetry and what we had.
And I think you moved the lift. The position.
Excuse me?
It looks like you moved the position of the lift.
I did. So what I did, so going back to yes, so.
It was right, it was over here. It was.
The location didn't change too much, but I followed your advice we made the landing deeper. So the landing is deeper, our doors are swinging out. And I centered the staircase on the door, which was one of your concerns last time. Mm-hmm. So that has been done. And I really wanted to make sure that when you get out of the lift, you have a clear 3 feet where, you know, you don't interfere with people coming up and going down the staircase. So this also got widened. The 7'10" is more than what we had before. So from there, I'd like to show you the elevations. So, and I prepared 2 alternatives because of course we want to be compliant with your concerns, but I would like to raise another concern. So this is what you had basically asked for, is to make it symmetrical, which, you know, we can do that, but the price to pay is that it's very difficult to find a location for light fixtures. And the reason is, I mean, yes, you can probably put one in the header up here, but it's not really in the location where I would like it. So basically, I'll show you an alternative which I would like to propose. And I know it's not completely symmetrical, but it is very functional and it works better with our elevator layout. So basically, I'm suggesting that instead of having 2 windows here on this side, to have a really nice light fixture here and also on this side, because we will need it for the elevator, we will need it for the landing. And to just have one of those goosenecks up here, which is pretty much all we can do, is just not exactly what I would like to do.
Sorry,
So,
can you just blow it up a little so we focus a little bit more on it?
Sure.
It doesn't have to be a lot, but just, thank you.
And after this, do you have a cut sheet of the light fixtures that you're thinking about?
yes, I do, yeah.
Okay.
That was fine.
It's something like that. You know, I mean, we'll probably search a little longer, but basically like a lantern style is what I would like, but simple, because the building is really kind of simple, but has its beauty. So, so this is what I would like to suggest. Let me get back to the original. So this is the one.
Can you toggle between this and the other one for a moment? We can just see the.
So unless you have suggestions, but really to find a good place for a nice light fixture just seemed very difficult with what we had in mind as a replacement for the original foyer.
Well, a comment for Stanley is not here. Stanley was, I forget how many of the board members were at the last presentation. But he was the most adamant about sliding over the staircase and having it symmetrical because the building is pretty formal and has a lot of symmetry to it. And I think this did exactly what Stanley was looking for. And I do think it looks like there's a hole when the window disappears for a lantern, and there has to be a way to get a nice lantern coming off the fascia or something else, or maybe on the posts of the railings or something. So I would, I would support this one versus the other.
Depth there?
Supporting which one?
The current one with 2 windows.
Is there depth on there? Can we see the side elevation, please?
I just feel like something's missing here. The light is so diminutive when you compare it to the window. It just looks like something's really missing. Especially you've gone to the effort to make it symmetrical, and then you're taking a big thing out of it. So what does the rest of the board think?
Can you
Okay.
show the side elevation?
Sure. What is his side elevation?
Yeah, I just want to, so there's not much overhang. You can't put an overhead light on.
No. And this is the style of roof that, you have up here too. So, and we will have the same kind of clay tiles. So it just didn't seem right to make it a different roof. I mean, and so.
I was just curious to see if there was anything.
Well, I agree with Bob that, you could do like a post top light and take it off of the building altogether.
Post top, yeah, but those don't give a lot of, I don't know, they don't really give a lot of light. I mean, they are pretty, but that's not, to me, it doesn't work as well. So then we would definitely need one here on this side, which we can install. So that one we can install, and then I guess we'll have one up here, above the door. So I do think the building itself is not that symmetrical. And I don't know, I don't feel it screams symmetry. Look at this. Is that symmetrical? It's not.
It's very balanced. If it's not symmetrical, it's certainly balanced. The mass, a lot of it is symmetrical. The fenestration in the back is not, but this just looks very like something's missing to me.
Okay. No, I value your input.
What do you guys think?
Excuse me?
No, I'm just asking other board members what they think. Travis, Brendan, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the elevation one is probably the nicer of the two, but I think she did address pretty much all of Stanley's concerns that were brought up before.
Yeah, I think everything else is fine. So it's just finding a spot for a light.
Would it work, do you think, if she did like some kind of back plate or something that's proportional in size to the window or has some kind of larger scale? Because I mean, Bob, I agree that it feels a little unbalanced.
The light is
It's
kind of small. For
it's
that.
small compared to the window on the other side, but maybe if there's some kind of decorative plate or something behind it to balance it.
Perhaps.
Like a panel that looks actually like the window on the other side. That could probably be an alternative. Just make a panel that is the same.
Well, if you had a panel that was the same proportion, then maybe a bigger light fixture that was in the center, maybe.
And have the
Yeah.
light fixture then.
Yeah, the light fixture seems a little small for a plate or a panel. If you're, doing something a similar size to the window on the opposite side.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I could support a panel if it was, if it looked like you were looking to address the window and then it wasn't glass, it was something flat that you could mount a larger, appropriately scaled fixture. That probably would be okay.
I'm assuming you're having handrails on the steps. Is that indicated?
Oh yeah, no, definitely, absolutely. We'll have handrails. Yeah, that's no, you
You
can
have to have,
pass.
but is it indicated on the other elevation? It's just going to match the rail.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the railing. Yeah, no, you can pass the building department.
No, I know, but it's just, it doesn't look like it's indicated here.
So, so basically, if we would, so are you swaying towards the first one, the absolute symmetrical, or could we go for the second alternative, this one, but have a panel that basically mimics the trim of the window and has a flat panel behind it and a bigger light fixture?
Bob, would we have to have her return to show us that plan
Well,
with the panel?
If you can draw it in, if you want to, we have a couple of other applicants. We can put you aside.
Are there any options for like rail lighting that is decent? I'm just looking online here.
But if you draw it, I was going to say is if you draw it in, even if you draw it neatly in pen, you can draw it by pen and then, somehow.
I can try this. Yeah, I haven't done it much, so I'm not sure I'm good at it to do, but I can. So basically,
You can do it by hand and then just scan it so that we can see it even if people.
oh, okay. So I mean, basically, it would really look. I would mimic the trim. I would mimic the trim, and basically make it the same width, the same, height. Even we could even mimic, have a, like a two-piece trim, and then basically have the light fixture a little lower, but like being framed by the trim.
But just scale it proportionally to the size of the panel.
Okay, let me see if I can do anything. No, this
Is anyone familiar with any kind of under rail lighting?
On the
Under rail?
Uh-huh.
I've done like LED on the underside around or something.
I mean, you could probably get a tape or something like that. There's,
No,
I mean,
I'm looking at some that fit under the rail. Right
yeah,
now.
I know some manufacturers who make them, but it's they're I think a lot more contemporary than what this is supposed to be.
This one you don't even see it. One that I'm looking at online, it's tucked into the.
So basically, this would be the outside. of the trim.
Mhm.
We get it. We, I
Yeah, we
think-
understand what it, you just
I
have
think
to.
we agree with
indicate
you. We can
what you want.
support that. So if you can take a step out while we do the next applicant, draw it, come back to us in a half hour-ish, and then we'll approve you.
Sure.
Or, yeah, just
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
do a couple little dimensions or notes, or put one of the little notes on it, noting what's going on. So
Sure. Okay, all right,
You
good.
could
So I'll
copy,
do
you
that.
could just copy the right side, left side, and then bring it over.
So
Okay.
then,
Anybody else have comments?
no, I think this actually works.
Okay, I prefer the first elevation still.
I do too, but I wouldn't, would you object to this if they prefer?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, so if you don't mind unsharing your screen, and we will return to you after we're done with the applicants.
sure.
Okay,
Okay, that's fine. Yep.
thanks. Okay, Carrie, so we are going now to another return 27 Overlook Drive.
Hi, good evening. My name is Hernani de Almeida. I'm the engineer of record for this project. If you guys recall from last week, this is a minor addition to an existing single-family house on the second floor and a little bit above the garage. I could share my screen.
Hernani, is there anyone else joining us?
No.
Okay, so it's just you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you activate your video, or are you?
Yeah,
going-
just give me one.
Okay.
Okay, can you see the plans?
Mhm.
Okay, so last week we were focused in on the front here, the portico. And you have the updated drawings that I sent in, I assume, which show the revision that we all spoke about last week. The portico was made shorter, not as tall as it was before. The columns were straightened. And I changed the size of this awning window to match the width of the door. So it's pretty much in line. All the grills were removed from the windows. The existing windows have the grills in them now, and they're all being taken out. They can be removed, so we're going to be removing them. And that's the only real change that we discussed last week, were the grills and this portico. And I was also asked to dimension it. Oh, sorry, the other side lights. The side lights. That was the other change. We also included in the package that we submitted a picture of the door. This is in stain, but it'll be wood. This is the door that the homeowner wants to use. We were going to have some concerns with the side lights and the light switches on the inside, but we have enough space to move them over, and we should be able to get the side lights in. So that being said, here's the dimensions also on the same page of the portico. Obviously, the
The
person
only
who's going to be
one
bending.
having trouble hearing him?
I can hear him.
I can hear him.
Yeah.
So obviously, the person who's going to be bending that copper, the slant the road radius may be a little different than what I have here, but it's going to be close enough here. I mean, I don't think you'll be able to tell the difference between this drawing and what it actually ends up being. It might be an inch or two difference. And so all the comments that we discussed last week, we were able to incorporate in this week's drawing. Would you like me to speak about anything else in particular?
The other elevations.
I think that takes care of it.
Well, this is the rear elevation.
Right, no, the side.
The sides, here are the two sides. You only see from
So you
the
can't
left side,
Okay.
you only see a little bit, and then from the right side, you see the portico quite a bit. But now we don't have to do railings because this is not far off the ground.
Mhm.
Where the jury's still out, but if you put railings in, you're not going to see them from the front view because they'll be behind the posts. But for now, they're staying open.
Mhm.
Well, you will see that nobody ever stands dead center, but
Yeah.
you probably will want them for practicality.
Yeah.
I think it's nice. Ann, I think you addressed all your comments, didn't you?
I think it's fine.
I think he addressed our what we had commented on.
Okay. Brandon, you good?
Yeah, this addresses it.
Okay, you're approved.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
You too.
Thanks for working with us. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Okay. So the next applicant is 27 South Greeley for a sign. I'm assuming it's Jimmy.
Yes, that's me.
Hi,
Can you hear
how
me?
are you?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Car-
How's everybody tonight?
we're good. You don't have the plans, right?
No, I don't have them.
Okay. Carrie, can you share the royal sign plans?
Sure, hold on one second.
Thank you.
This is the sign.
Is this for one of the retail stores? Where is this?
It's next to Valerinas.
Ah, okay.
Are you seeing it?
Yep.
Yep.
Did a nice job on the building, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
So Shop at Dory
Shop at Dory.
is going to come out and Royal is going in.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a Shop at Dory,
Yeah, that one never came to us. So yeah, that's why you don't know about it.
but I don't think I've ever seen the
Mm.
store. And what is Royal? What kind of
It's a clothing boutique.
clothing?
What's the material of the sign? Is it matching Valerinas?
Yes. It's actually using the same sign blank that was there, which is 1-inch PVC.
Uh-huh. So is
Um,
it inset? I can't. It's hard to tell from the rendering.
There's a little recessed area that fits the sign panels. So it's the same. Villarinas and Shop at Dory were the same exact sign. They must have been put up by the same person. So they have a recessed area where the sign sits, and only that specific size will fit in there. So we removed the panel already because she opened. So the panel is removed. It's just blank right now. So we're going to use the same panel, 1-inch PVC, and we'll install vinyl lettering. And in this case, it's a full reverse. So you just see the white letters, and the rest is a vivid blue vinyl.
Is Villarinas engraved letters or are they flat decal like this?
Flat decal.
So it's the same. It's just vinyl on against.
It's vinyl. It's vinyl on PVC.
And is blue a theme of the color of the business?
Yes, she's very adamant on the blue. This is her whole vision because royal blue.
Oh, got it. So that blue is kind of accurate. I mean, I know we're all seeing a different blue, but
Yeah, on my picture, it actually looks like a little more purpley, but it's actually it's a royal blue.
Yeah, mine looks pretty purple also.
yeah.
No,
So
it's not purple. It's not like this.
But it doesn't match
It's not
Villarinas.
royal blue at all.
So I understand why the lettering isn't centered because you've got the crown on the L, but does anyone else feel that it's a little bit too
Yeah.
close to the bottom?
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know what she'd have to change the crown position. It just looks,
Well, maybe the letters get a little smaller in this and breathing room at the bottom.
Yeah.
well, but this might be the logo as one piece. So,
I'm just saying if you scale it down a little bit so there's a little space.
Like 90% or something.
and then lift it.
Hmm.
Yeah, that'll be my only comment too. And it's a very different color, but the town isn't uniform. So
Is she open already?
Yeah, she is open.
Can you tell her that there's not enough space, blue space on the bottom? So if she could make her logo a little smaller and then raise it so it feels like it's centered more horizontally.
Yeah, we could do that. Is there any way though that we wouldn't have to wait to another meeting?
Well, can you agree to scale down the, all the white lettering, the logo down 10%?
Yeah.
And
So
then-
it's on there now.
How big is the R?
There
Or
should be
just
two. There should be another page in the. Did they not scale it? They didn't scale.
Is it
Should
like
have.
a 18-inch letter?
No, I don't think it's that large. Can you go back to the first page?
Then this is the first page.
Because we have it. Because you don't see it in the photo. Well, if you zoom in, you can see it a little bit better. That there's actually a white border around it that keeps with the matching of Villarinas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if the whole thing is if the whole thing is 20, what did it show there? 23 inches.
23 and a half. Yeah.
23 and a half. So the border's inch and a half. So if you have inch and a half and inch and a half, we're down to 23 inches plus the thing. So yeah, maybe it's a 14 or 15 inch R, maybe a 14 because you have that crown.
Can you like double the blue space below the lettering, maybe?
So you want the space on the the spaces to match above the R and below the R.
I
You
don't
want
think
that
it
equal.
has to.
It won't work
Yeah.
because the logo's going to be really small.
I
So.
think what she wants is if you measured from the bottom of the R, the bottom of the letters to the bottom of the blue, whatever that is, double it and then shrink it
Okay.
down a little bit so that it fits.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. So 20. Yeah, that's not a problem. And I don't think you
Say
would
if
lose
it's a-
much.
say
I
if
mean,
it's
I'm assuming your
an
file
inch,
that
it
you
goes
got.
to 2 inches.
I'm assuming the file that you got from them for the logo is one. They're not separate, right? The crown and the type.
No, that's all one
Yeah, it's one. It must be
one files. But we could definitely shrink it down a hair to, that's not
Yeah,
maybe that's
shrink
another
it.
I
inch.
don't think it's. I wouldn't think it's significantly changing the size of. I mean, the readability and the size of the royal letters. All that.
Right.
much.
Never ever seen that.
I assume the crown would shrink proportionally too, right? So everything shrinks a little bit together.
Yeah, it's all going to shrink together. It's one.
All right, so if you can take a document like this and just put a note to mention the blue below the R and just say, you'll increase it by double and scale it appropriately and you can get approved. You can put that note on it.
You just have, I think you have to do it visually. I don't think you can necessarily, because of the crown. Just make it look more centered.
I'm assuming just by judging what the border is, if the border is inch and a half, the blue might be a hair bigger now. So maybe it's 2 inches. So we would increase the 2 inches to roughly 4 inches on the bottom to give you a little bit more purple, or sorry, purple, but I'm looking at purple, but it's actually going to be blue. So roughly increase it to about 4 inches.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Right. And Travis, Brendan, you go with that?
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, it's going to get small, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
So can he note up the document? I guess he doesn't. You don't have the.
Yeah, if you can put in a note, I think if you can dimension that and say you're going to increase it from a certain proportion or X to Y, I think then we don't have to make them come back at the next meeting. Is that okay, guys?
I think that'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, can you do that? Can you mark that up with a pen and submit it to the town?
Yeah, of course. I know. I can just mark. Is something I need to do right now or in the morning with the.
You can make the change and email it to me.
Okay.
Then I can put it in the file and give it to Tom.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll correct the drawing. So this way the correct drawings on file.
Mhm. Okay, so I've been in contact with Esteban. He has my email address. You could just
So-
email it to me tomorrow, and I'll make sure to give it to Tom.
Not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
So do we want to go back and see if 108 Pines Bridge is
Yeah,
ready?
that's all the,
Yep, I can show it to you.
Okay.
All right. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. So basically, I mean, the dimensioning is not that pretty yet, but it's what we would do, of course, is to make sure that those are aligned, the window trim and the light fixture panel. And then we would, the light fixture, I mean, it could be centered on the window, but I think, of course, it works better if it's not too low. So right now it's at 6'2".
I think it'd get too low if you try to center it in that area.
Exactly. Yeah, and then it doesn't work so well. So that's how it would look like.
is the trim all white? And then what is the, what's the siding color? Is it all?
I think it should match the siding, the color of the panel.
Mhm.
Unless you
And
say
what color is what color is everything?
the siding is it's basically an ivory color, like a cream color.
Uh-huh.
And the trim is a light gray. So, you know, the panel could also be gray, I guess, you know, to make it more like maybe make it more different from the siding. But I think I would probably keep it simpler and have it the same color as the siding, unless you object.
I think it could be either way. Would you do this a similar panel behind the other light fixture so that there's that relationship?
It's a good question. I guess we could. Although I'm not sure if it's, I mean, let me see if I showed the light.
And the door is going to be the trim color?
The door is going to be a gray, a darker gray.
The darker gray.
And we have the red clay,
Mhm.
clay tile. And probably, I mean, then this is the red brick. Then we probably have light gray railings. So, you know what, I mean, I'm not sure if it's really required to have that kind of panel on the other side, but let me show you if it's, I think I'm showing it on the other.
You see that elevation?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just looking for it. Hold on. Let's see, where is it? I think it's actually on here as well. So I guess I'm not showing it on this one yet. So that's how it would look like. So we could have a panel or just show the fixture at the same height.
Seeing that, I think the panel would provide a little bit more visual interest on that
More
side.
detail, sure. Yeah, no, that's fine. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, anybody else, comments? All right, so can you draw that panel in on the side? So you include the side elevation with the panel so they match, and then I think you're good to go.
Yes, of course. No, I can do that. I'm just hoping it doesn't hold us up. I mean, I can submit it tomorrow.
Okay, if you can, if you want to email me what you've changed today, email it to me and I can print it, and give it to Tom.
That'd be great. Yeah, and
And then just send in.
What did we decide on color? Because to me, if it's just the same color as the siding, it just, melts into it. So the symmetry is not being achieved.
No, but the trim,
The trim is going to be the same color as this trim, right? Which is a light gray.
Okay.
So this is also going to be a light gray.
Uh-huh.
So I guess the question is, what's the panel going to be? The panel itself. I mean,
I think it can be either one. I think you just create and cut some shadow lines and some
right?
detail. So
Yeah. No, I think, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with either one decision. That's, so we can either make it darker or just give it the same color as the siding. That's probably what I would do. So, but I will definitely, we'll have the same panel on this side. So that's no issue whatsoever. Yeah.
Okay, so when you send that to Daisy, if you can include the side elevation of the panel.
Yes, I will. Yeah. That shouldn't take long. Okay.
All right,
Okay,
thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a
Thanks.
good night.
Good night.
Okay, so we are on to the next application, which is a zoning board referral for Kingfisher on Cynthia Court.
What is Kingfisher?
What is
Doesn't know?
Tom?
Kingfisher is actually, it's a nonprofit organization, and they are looking to do a nature preserve at these properties that they own off Cynthia Court. I am Elizabeth Hendrickson, a landscape architect, and Laura Damaris is one of the owners, and she is also on the call or the meeting. And if you have any more questions about that, Laura has a lot of information about exactly what Kingfisher is. However, if you want, we can get started with the signage.
Or anyone else joining us?
I believe it's just the two of us, and we did send another invitation out to John Kirkpatrick, but that's just backup if we need it. But so it will most likely just be the two of us. So I will, why don't I share my screen and I can show you the plan that we have and all the signage that we've put together for the property.
Can you just tell us where the property is?
Yes, of course. Sorry, I'm trying to determine which screen. So the property is located, sorry, I'm just trying my, okay. So the property is located on Cynthia Court, which is off of Brandon Drive. It's a subdivision that there's actually town property abutting this, and then the Sawmill Parkway sits below that. And there's
Old Rhinebrook, right?
I'm sorry, what?
Is it off of Old Rhinebrook and then?
Yes.
There's James and
exactly.
Brandon.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know the spot. Okay.
Right. And so these three properties are, we are working with the zoning board and planning board to turn these three properties of the subdivision into a nature preserve. And the nature preserve would be called Round Rock Preserve under Kingfisher Philanthropies. And we have plans, well, we have the mulch trails basically, and just preserving the site and turning it back to nature. That is the plan for the property. And with that, we have an entry sign that is a boulder or a round rock. We have designed a corten steel with cutout of the name of the preserve, Round Rock Preserve, and it will be nestled into the boulder, and then the plaque with the location of the entrance would, and the address, and obviously open dawn to dusk would be also engraved into, or it would be blackened, excuse me, etched and then painted black into the corten steel. This piece would actually be cut out. There's an example here of what that could look like. Obviously this would be a little bit larger, and these three leaves are the, that is the logo for the preserve as well. So, and these are just examples here of kind of how we came to this. Also, the entry sign to Stone Barns was another way we got to this. And so this boulder actually would be, well, it is a proposed element of the signage. And that would be located here on the corner once you come in from Cynthia Court. We actually have an existing drive that was part of the previous subdivision where there is an existing gate and fencing along this portion of the preserve to ensure that, you know, it's a wayfinding element, and also it demarcates the basically the edge of the preserve, even though the property line does extend a little bit farther beyond this. So this signage would be here because we would like to dissuade, what is it? We don't want people coming up the drive. This drive is meant for there's a utility easement on this, and the town needs to access this for the water main that exists here. And so therefore this would have the authorized vehicles only sign located. That's the number 2. However, the boulder with the entry sign would be located on this corner for when people drive up. And then the entrance to the preserve is in this direction. Then I'm just going to scroll down. At the entrance, we are proposing a kiosk with a small map of the preserve with rules and guidelines, and an explanation on the preserve, hours and contact. And that would be basically made of red cedar, and have a little roof just to keep this sign a little bit more preserved, or if anybody is actually happening up there in the rain, it would be dry. This would be a digitally mounted sign on aluminum that would be affixed to the wood, and the wood, all of this would be wood basically. And then also on the fence in front of the preserve, we would have a welcome sign. This is, and I'm sorry, the authorized authorized vehicles only, as well as the welcome sign. And this sign with a few rules would be made of PVC, and some of the text would be etched in. Otherwise it would be inset lettering in black. So very, very simple. And the gray is to just subdue this a little bit. And again, these signs are just here at the entrance affixed to the fence. And this is a little bit more detail on the map. This is again an example of a local preserve map in the area. And this is an example of how we came upon our, you know, this was the inspired our signage. Very, very simple, classic, just really subdued, just to get the point across. And we also have small, or would like to put small little tags on the trail. They would be this standard aluminum circles, and this showing the logo of the preserve, as well as the name and just the name of the trail. That would also be on the map. And again, these are those 2 signs that would be posted on the existing fence. And then we have just a little plaque on a bench that we have proposed for the preserve.
Good to me.
That's very nice.
I think I know this property. They were going to build houses and they never did. And it was like years and years and years and years. And then nothing happened, right? I don't know if there was wetlands or something, or it was the town. They needed to build the road, I think. And that was the road was maybe hampering or something like that.
The original owner of the subdivision went bankrupt, and our clients purchased the 3 properties, and actually 4 of the other properties have recently been purchased by someone else. I believe 2 houses have been built. 1 might be in process, and number 1 on Cynthia Court, which sits just above here, has been built and someone lives there. So it was a piece, but what we love about this is it's abutting, you know, the other town properties.
Yeah.
And so the views from the top of the preserve are just really, really lovely.
What's the timing on this?
Well, we would have loved to open it several years ago. We're working through, we're just working through the ZBA and planning board to do so, just because of a little bit of the complications with the subdivision.
Yeah, because I live on like the next street. So
Okay.
I was selfishly asking.
Oh,
So this was a referral just for the signage, correct?
yes,
ZBA. Okay,
yes.
I'm fine with it.
All good?
Anyone else?
Yeah,
Looks
that's
nice.
good.
Very good. Excellent.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
Thank
Bob,
you
you're on
very
mute.
much.
Did you have to say anything?
I'm on mute. I didn't- Yeah, do we need to, how should we transmit our approval or thoughts to the plan?
It's I'll do a memo and I'll send it to you for your approval.
Okay, it looks very nice. I think it looks very
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate your
Thank you.
time.
Bye.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, we're all set and hope to see you guys September 16th.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Have
you.
a good holiday.
All
Good
right.
night.
Bye.
Thanks, Carrie.
Everyone.
I'll see everybody.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.